Welcome back to the Slow Drip series. In our last episode, we saw Aiden find a home in a bowl of pho. Today, we follow him deeper into the heart of Saigon, into an alley where his search for peace confronts an unexpected enemy: noise. 2 weeks have passed. Aiden is no longer just a tourist. He's trying to build a life here. He's found a small room in a deep alley, a short walk from Cacoph's coffee stall. His morning ritual of an iced coffee on a red plastic stool remains, but when night falls, a new battle begins. Back in Seattle, his apartment was a fortress of silence, a necessity for his work as a software developer, where a single misplaced semicolon could bring down a system. But in Saigon, he discovers that silence is a luxury he can't afford. His new room seems to amplify every sound of the city. He's tried everything: expensive noise-canceling headphones, white noise apps, even sleeping pills. But nothing can stand against the alley's symphony. It starts at 5 a.m., the sharp scrape of a bamboo broom, the roar of motorbikes coming to life, the distant calls of a sticky rice vendor. By evening, it's a chorus of sizzling woks, blaring TVs, and children playing on the rooftops. But his greatest challenge lives just on the other side of his wall: Auntie 2. She lives her life at full volume, enjoying traditional opera, booming phone conversations, and worst of all, an unpredictable karaoke habit, with the bass turned all the way up. Aiden had chosen this top-floor room for its thick walls, hoping for quiet. He even tried taping soundproofing foam to the shared wall, a Western solution to an Eastern problem. Silence is control, he muttered to himself, desperately trying to reclaim his focus. But Auntie 2's vibrant, life-affirming sound just poured right through. One night, while debugging a critical line of code, her singing broke through his high-tech headphones, piercing straight into his brain. It wasn't bad singing, but it was an invasion of his carefully constructed personal space. He snapped his laptop shut and stepped into the hallway. Looking down, he saw the alley not as separate homes, but as one living, breathing organism. People ate, laughed, and lived their lives out in the open. A wave of familiar Western frustration washed over him. He wanted to march over there and lecture her on residential noise standards, but then he remembered Cacoph's words. Here, time is a relationship. If time was a relationship, he wondered, was this noise its language? Defeated, he returned to his room. He tried to focus, but his mind was flooded with the opera's melody and a thumping bass. He couldn't work. He needed an escape. He found Mai at her stall, looking exhausted. "Mai," he said, dropping his headphones on the table, "do you know any quiet, air-conditioned coffee shops? I can't concentrate. It's too loud." Mai smiled, unsurprised. "You need silence?" "I need a bunker," he sighed. "No talking, no TV, no karaoke." Mai just packed a small filter of coffee for him. "Saigon has no place that quiet," she said gently. It was a kind gesture, but not the answer he was looking for. Following a tip online, Aiden found himself in an old public library. It was perfect. High ceilings, slow-turning fans, and the gentle rustle of turning pages. It was the absolute silence he craved. He opened his laptop, took a deep breath, and began to work. His fingers flew across the keyboard. He was back in his element, coding at his Seattle pace, feeling efficient and in control. But after 2 hours, a strange unease crept in. The silence wasn't restful. It was heavy. In this void, every self-doubt, every worry about his future was amplified. Did I make a mistake leaving my job? Am I going to fail? The noise of the alley, he realized, had been a buffer against these anxieties. Auntie 2's karaoke, the children's laughter. It was the sound of life, a constant reminder that a world existed outside his own head. This library felt like a sterile prison of isolation. He had mistaken isolation for serenity. He packed his bag and practically fled the silence. He returned to the alley at twilight, just as the evening noise hit its peak. The football match was on, oil sizzled in pans, and of course Auntie 2 was warming up with a patriotic ballad. He stopped at Mai's stall. "I couldn't find the silence," he admitted, out of breath. Mai smiled softly. "Because it's not in an air-conditioned room." She pointed to an old wooden bench. "You want true serenity? You must accept the noise first." She gestured towards the building's communal rooftop. Up there, Auntie 2 wasn't singing alone. She was surrounded by neighbors and children, all laughing and cheering her on. She wasn't a perfect singer, but she sang with her entire heart for the joy of sharing a moment. Aiden stood in a corner watching. Then he decided to try an experiment. He took out his laptop ready to work in the eye of the storm. He opened it, and the bass from Auntie Two's speakers hit him. But this time, he didn't fight it. He let the noise wash over him. Her voice became the background music, the children's laughter a rhythm. And suddenly, the complex code that had stumped him in the library became clear. His focus was no longer drained by fighting interruptions or wrestling with self-doubt. He was being carried by the vibrant energy of the community around him. Auntie Two noticed him. "Western man," she called out with a friendly laugh. "Come sing a song, or are you hungry? Come have some sweet soup." A week ago, that invitation would have felt like an attack. Now, it felt like warmth. He closed his laptop, walked over, and sat down. He didn't sing, but he accepted a bowl of sweet black bean dessert. He smiled and nodded, finally understanding. The serenity he was searching for wasn't a physical state, it was a mental one. Seattle's silence had been isolation. Saigon's noise was connection. He couldn't control the world outside, only how he responded to it. He chose to join the symphony. The next day, Aiden took down the soundproofing foam. That evening, he bought a new fan for Auntie Two. She beamed at him. Her music still filled the alley, but Aiden no longer wore his headphones. He coded, and sometimes, listening to the bass, he smiled. He had found his peace, not in silence, but in acceptance. If Aiden's journey resonates with you, please share this story. And don't miss our next episode, where we explore how a slower pace can lead to a more meaningful life. Be sure to like, share, and follow the Slow Drip series to continue the journey with us. Thanks for watching.